Welcome back to Andersen Acres. We're out here with the animals today for our weekly update, where we recap what went on all week. There goes vodka. And we answer a question. Today we're out here with the ducks, because we've been doing duck stuff. We were missing 2 ducks and then I found them. They were in there, but they were kind of nesting down in a bunch of bramble. And they decided that was an excellent place to be. But they are all here now, all happy, all together. They are safe here on the farm. They're safe. But the other thing we did today, there's Whiskey, Jake, DK. The other thing we did today is we went to the lumber store. There's vodka, tequila. But we went to the lumber store to pick up lumber for remodeling the basement. So we were gone a significant portion of the day because we're not right next to the city. We had to drive into the city. So that's actually a little bit of a journey. But we did it. And we got the lumber we needed. We got back and we couldn't find the ducks. 2 of them. They're in there. We did eventually find them. Somebody left a rabbit door open. I'm not going to name names. But someone left a rabbit door open. But they are all accounted for and safe. They were just kind of running around the snow. They're easy enough to catch. You just pick them up. They're in there. They're fine. Everyone is good. So we couldn't find ducks and we had to catch some rabbits. But otherwise, we have had a pretty normal day. It's starting to get a little colder. It was really, really mild last week. It is expected to be pretty cold by the end of the week. Hi. Expected to be pretty cold by the end of the week. And when it is pretty cold, it's going to suck for us. But, you know, what can you do? It is the middle of winter. Hi, buddy. Do. And there's Blue the turkey. He's happy. He's blue. So, it is going to get colder during the week, but right now it is still relatively mild. Whiskey's over there. And because it's relatively mild, we are getting stuff done on the farm as efficiently as we possibly can, because it's not going to be long before it once again is 40 below. And I'm telling you, 40 below absolutely sucks. I don't care if you're used to it. We are used to it. But, yeah, it sucks. 40 below sucks. So we are preparing for it to be pretty dang cold. Hi, tequila, was that fun? But we're preparing for it to be pretty dang cold. So we're just trying to get everything done that we can get done before the deep freeze settles in for the rest of the winter. But that is our Saturday. We will come back tomorrow and do a quick little clip of what went on Sunday. Well, it is now Sunday evening. It's cloudy. Yesterday was pretty sunny, but at least towards part of the day. Today it's pretty cloudy. But we had a little escapade here on Sunday. We had these guys escape. Not all of them. We've got a bunch of them left. I think we're still missing 3. My son opened the top to feed them, and they all jumped out and went kind of bonkers. And most of them we either caught right away or they came back. But some of the quail are still missing. So that's the way that goes. So that's kind of what we did, is look for quail. Because, yeah, we had to. Just the way it is. But otherwise, everyone is having a fine old Sunday afternoon, doing their thing. We had to break up a chicken fight between Java and Spark, but that was Spark's fault because Java is 100%. That's Java behind Shadowfax. Let's go this way so you can see him. There he is. Java, this big gold guy, that is 100% our dominant rooster, and Spark is a butthead and thought maybe he would just harass the heck out of him. And when you harass the heck out of Java, he gets you. So that was a little drama today as well. But other than that, you know, escaping quail in a chicken fight. Other than that, it's been a pretty chill day. Not overly cold. Jabba. Not overly cold, so that's okay. There goes vodka. And by the way, if you want to see how big vodka's feet are, let's see if I can find one of them. One of the really good prints. So, this is vodka's print. That's my foot. That's how big vodka's feet are. I had people ask how big his feet are. For comparison, this is Tequila's foot. Like, look at how much smaller it is. So, yeah, he's got big darn feet. There he is right there. But that's what's been going on here on Sunday. Join us again on Monday. Well, it's Monday. And last night it snowed. So, you know, we had to do a little bit of shoveling. And then I was breaking down a bunch of cardboard boxes. And that was fun. And I slipped with the box cutter. And I sliced my thigh open. So I spent most of today in the ER getting a couple of stitches. It's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. Don't worry about it. I'm fine. But it wasn't the most productive day because that took a little while. And then, you know, my leg hurts now. So I'm not really getting anything done. At least it's sunny. The downside of it's sunny is when it's sunny up here, you know the cold is coming. It's not super cold yet. It's supposed to be. So the animals are inside. We've moved except for a couple of chickens that I see. There's a couple of chickens. I'm not walking over there because my leg hurts. But a couple of chickens hanging out. But we put the hay in the barn because it's going to get really cold this week. And by the weekend it's going to be frigid. That's not going to be fun. But for the most part, I'm not doing much anything except hanging out with the cats. Cats are here and it is nice and sunny. There's another cat over there. Meow. Yeah. Gwen. Wildfire. DK is on the step. Jake's behind me. I don't know where Bowser is, but I did see her today. But so it's not frigid yet. It's going to be. And it's going to suck. So I'm going to go put my leg up for a little while. And hopefully tomorrow's not as utterly ridiculous as today. Well, it's Tuesday. There's Tequila barking at me because I won't come off the deck. So, you know, I cut up my leg yesterday, so I'm not coming off the deck. Yeah. We're not doing that. I'm not coming. So today has mostly been me taking it easy. And, excuse me. And we are making pizza tonight. So that's what's going on in the house. Making a lot of pizza. It is New Year's Eve, and because it is New Year's Eve, we're making pizza. We don't do anything big for New Year's Eve. All the animals have already gone into the barn. It's actually significantly colder than it was just a few days ago, and it's going to get even colder for the weekend. I think a lot of areas are going to experience that. The next few days are going to be a rapid plunge in temperature. So we are just making sure that the rabbits and the chickens and the quail and everyone are prepared for the deep freeze that is coming our way. That's mostly what we're doing right now. And I'm taking it easy because I don't want to rip my stitches. But other than that, it's been a pretty calm Tuesday. Nobody escaped. Nobody caused any problems. We're just getting ready for the deep freeze that's on its way. We'll see what's happening on Wednesday. Happy New Year. It's Wednesday. It's freakishly cold. Like so ridiculously cold. And it's going to get colder. The rabbits, we've been prepping them for the bad weather, making sure their houses are stuffed with straw. The girls have been taking their straw down into their houses, into their den there, just to stay warm. It's freakishly cold. We have to replace these waters right now about every 4 hours just to make sure everyone's having enough to drink. The quail are in their houses because, yeah, it's cold. It's cold and we're kind of done. And like yesterday, the horse and the goat and the chickens are all inside the barn because it's really, really cold. And we really do not appreciate really, really cold. It's not that much fun. So we are just trying to stay warm. We are used to colder weather. it's still not fun. So even if you live in an area where you are used to this kind of cold weather, it's still not fun. Okay, it's still freakishly cold, and that's okay. It's okay to think that this is freakishly cold weather, even if you're used to it. And it's going to get worse. Apparently, Saturday, Sunday is going to be not fun. So we are preparing for the deep freeze still. That's what we are up to today on Wednesday. We will come back on Thursday, and I know it's not going to warm up, but I can hope. Well, it is Thursday, and our news of the day is we do indeed have a couple of baby bunnies. Hopefully, everyone does well. These are Celeste's very first babies, and they're only a couple of hours old, so I have to return them to mom very, very fast. So, they are broken blue. That's the color they're going to be, because broken blue is the only color she can throw. She and the papa are both broken blues. They can only be either a broken blue or a broken blue Charlie, which is broken blue but with more white than color. So there's not a lot of options for color, but that's okay. That's what we were going for. Anyway, they are absolutely adorable. Little feet. Don't want to keep them exposed for very long. They're only a couple of hours old. So that was our big excitement on the farm today. Brand new baby bunnies. Hopefully they will thrive. They are Celeste's first litter, and sometimes that means they don't all make it. Obviously someone's active. Look at that. But sometimes they don't all make it, or sometimes they are not as well formed as you would like. A first litter can be a little dicey. But we will continue to keep an eye on these little guys. Come back Friday. Well, it's Friday and it's getting a little bit dark out here, and that's okay. Friday evening. It's been a bit of an uneventful day, except for we couldn't find our turkey. Couldn't find our turkey, but he came back. We just weren't sure where he was. We couldn't find him, and so the dogs were looking for him, and then he came bouncing out of the trees. He's fine. We were just worried about him before the animals started kind of retreating and going to bed. So most of them are in their beds. Shadowfax is here, and they're all doing just fine this week. It is 30 below. It's cold. It is very, very cold, but that's part of living in Canada sometimes. It's freaking cold. Are we eating snow for no reason? You have 2 buckets of water that I just gave you. You're fine. Okay, fine. I hear the ducks. Let's get out of here before the ducks chase us. Anyway, the question I got this week that I was going to answer, and I am going to answer, is how much land do you need for a hobby farm? Well, the answer to that is it depends. So before you go and buy yourself 100 acres, quail are doing fine, by the way. Some up there, some down here, waiting for their food. Tristan's coming with dinner in just a few minutes. But before you rush out and buy land for your hobby farm, think about exactly what you want to do. Because what you want to do dictates how much land you want, how much land you need. So if all you want to do is raise chickens and rabbits, you can do that in a relatively small space, depending on the requirements in your area. So you might have, for example, your area might say you can't have any livestock if you have less than 5 acres. That would mean you would need 5+ acres in order to start your hobby farm. But if all you want are chickens and rabbits, you don't need 50 acres. In fact, you would spend way too much money getting 50 acres, and you would end up not needing it at all. So think long and hard about what you want before you commit to purchasing land. So we are in a really rural agricultural area. Okay, we are in the middle of nowhere. We are surrounded by fields, and so we own some of them, and other people own some of them. Like that one's not owned by us. Everyone owns a little bit, but most of the field areas are farmed. And in our case, we don't farm fields. So if you're like me and you owned a whole bunch of field, you might end up renting it out because you don't necessarily want to farm the field. So if you do buy more land than you want, you might be able to rent out part of it. Okay? But you do need to decide what you want to do, because what you want to do dictates the size of land you need. Cattle and horses need more space than goats or rabbits. Okay? Rabbits don't need much space at all. Chickens can live in a chicken coop. Goats can roam in a fairly small acreage. Okay, so in this is our front 6. And this is enough for a couple more mini horses and a whole bunch of goats. And some sheep. This really, we don't need that much. It's not enough for a full-sized cow. Okay, so maybe one, but if we wanted to raise cattle, we'd have to move into the field a little bit. Because it's not really enough to raise, the front 6 here is not really enough to raise cattle. Maybe a mini cow. Maybe one day I could get a mini cow and it could wander around the yard. And we own down that way. A significant distance. So yeah, we own down this way. And there goes a motion light detecting me walking around. But yes, we do own down that way. Down this path. So we own down that way as well. So we could easily like fence off that whole side of the property and do like a mini cow and some sheep and nonsense like that if we wanted to. We don't really have to because we don't really want a mini cow. But if you wanted full-size cattle, that moon. If you wanted full-size cattle, you would need more space than what we have in this front 6. So we would probably, if we were going to expand into cattle, either for dairy or for beef, we would probably want to fence off another 10 for that. So think about what you want and decide how much acreage you need for that. And try to account for how things will change in the very beginning. Because I will tell you, when we first started, way back at our other location before we moved, but when we first started, we we only were going to have some chickens. That was it. Okay? Just going to go in here. But we were only going to have a few chickens. And that was literally going to be the extent of it. Okay? We were going to have some chickens, and that was going to be literally it. Okay? So, let's just go see. Hi, Shadowfax. Hi, Arwen. Yeah. Duck, duck. Turkey. Yeah, duck, duck. But we were only going to have some chickens. And then we got some rabbits. And then we got a mini horse. And, no, then we got quail, sorry. Then we got a mini horse. And then we got some goats. And now we have ducks. We're in there right now. And we have turkeys. We have ducks over here. We have ducks over here. Ducks. They can come out, by the way. They're not locked up. They can come out or they can go into the barn and come out that way. But they don't want to. So we got ducks. We got a turkey. We're going to add some sheep. I don't know. We've kind of lost our minds. So for what we are going to do, this front 6 is probably going to be sufficient. You know, a couple more goats, maybe 3 more goats, a couple of sheep in the spring, that kind of thing. Maybe one day down the line, I might get peacocks, but they need an enclosure. So I might get peacocks one day, but all the things we want to do, we can easily do in this front 6 without having to worry about going into the field and fencing anything off. So when you are picking your area, when you're picking your land, get enough for what you know you're going to want with an option to expand a little bit. Okay? You do want to be able to expand a little because it actually sucks to think you're only going to have chickens and then realize you want goats, but you're not even allowed to have them. So try to envision what you might want down the road. Worst case scenario, you don't actually get those things, right? Worst case scenario, you know what? I don't really want goats. Best case scenario, you are set up to want to do goats in the long term. Okay? That doesn't mean you have to get goats the very second you head to your new property. That doesn't mean you have to get goats even in the next 10 years. But if you know in the back of your head that you might want goats, then you're going to want to make sure you can accommodate that. Even if you ultimately decide not to, it is a whole lot easier to decide not to have something than to really want it and not be able to have it because you didn't plan appropriately. So, absolutely, you should make sure that here's some of our decorations. Absolutely, you should make sure that you have planned for the worst. And when I say the worst, I mean planned to accidentally come home with 12 sheep that you didn't think you were going to get because you're absolutely bonkers and decided to buy a bunch of sheep for no good reason. Which is what's going to happen to me. I was never going to have sheep, but that's what's happening this spring is I'm getting a sheep. We're not going to talk about that. So, how much space do you need? Probably at least 5 acres, because in a lot of areas, you need at least 5 acres in order to have farm animals. Beyond that, however much you're going to need for what you desire. Think long and hard. Property's expensive. Property's an investment. You 100% want to make sure you know what you're getting and what you want and what you might want in the future. I'm not saying you can't sell and move later if your property no longer works for you, but that's a hassle. So if you can find a spot you absolutely love, like we love it here, this place is gorgeous. Look at these skies. But if you can find a place you absolutely adore, absolutely love, then you should definitely try to make that work for what you want. Okay, we have the option to expand. Not all properties do. Anyway, that's about it for us here today at Andersen Acres. We will see you tomorrow.